I need to get a battery for it. I think it's done for. We will... What's going on, guys, and welcome to today's video. And today we are filming for the first time in the temporary rental house garage here. And yeah, as you can see, it's a normal 2-car garage. We've got the Camaro sitting here, we've got the truck sitting here, and the Jeep is sitting outside. But we've got a new vehicle here today, and I'll kind of explain why. So if you saw the last video, you will see that I consolidated some vehicles, we sold some off, and the wife, we even sold her 2021 Toyota Prius that she obviously daily drove, and that left her without a vehicle. So that turned the TRX into my daily driver and my 99 Jeep Grand Cherokee that you guys have seen me do a lot with as her daily driver. And for some reason, going from a 21 Toyota Prius to a 99 Jeep Grand Cherokee lifted with the exhaust cut off with a big V8 under the hood, it was a bit of a change, and it's loud and stinky and doesn't drive terribly great compared to the Prius. So I have seen this Grand Cherokee sitting on the side of someone's driveway for over a year now, and I finally saw somebody outside for the first time ever. I was driving home, I rolled my window down and I said, "Hey, is the Jeep for sale?" And the guy kind of looked at me weird and said, "Yeah." And obviously it was broken and didn't start because the battery was dead. He says there's a coolant leak that's been at a shop 7 or 8 times over the previous year. It's been sitting in his driveway for a year, and that's where it ended. So I have no idea what we've got going on. Do we have a water pump? Do we have something more horrible? I really don't know. I took a gamble here and threw some money at him. Now, he told me straight up front, now the salvage yard is offering me $350 for this. Kind of letting me know, hey, you're not getting it cheaper than $350. So I brought a jump box, at least got the thing to power on and take a look at it, and it looks like everything's all there. It's not in great shape, but it's a Jeep, and hopefully we can make it run, and that's what I'm gonna be doing because it's multiple days after Valentine's Day, and I don't think I got the wife anything for Valentine's Day. So what is better than a 2001 Jeep Grand Cherokee? And can you look at this fine piece of machinery here? Like I said, 01 Grand, Laredo, 4-liter, 4-wheel drive. It is a quality piece of machinery. So what I thought we would do is go inside, get her initial reaction to this fine piece of machinery, and then we'll do our walkthrough. We'll take a look at it and see if we can at least get this thing running. Dad and I drug this over with his truck, shoved it into the driveway, and that's the end of it. Battery's dead. It's not very happy. So we're gonna go ahead, get her out here, take a look, and then play with it a little bit. Maybe I'll drive it to work tomorrow. I don't know. All right, guys, got my wife here. She is going to take her first glance at the fine Jeep Grand Cherokee. Now, it's not gonna be that exciting considering that's what she's currently driving, but we'll get her initial impressions on this. The interior has not been vacuumed.
There's a situation over there. I'm not sure.
Yeah, she did notice the slight situation that is the driver's door panel. It kind of looks like a bear may have gotten a hold of the door panel. I don't know if they had a bear or chimpanzee that got loose in the vehicle, but
this is nice back there.
She says it's nice back here.
And it doesn't stink.
And it doesn't stink. As you guys can see, this is a cloth Laredo. We do have a little bit of trash, but for the most part, it's really not in bad shape. I think the back hatch is still locked because the battery's dead, so we can't really get in there, but with a vacuuming, it's gonna clean up. But here's kind of the big, yeah, they had the window taped. You can see all the remnants of old tape or plastic because, as you guys know, WJ window regulators do break. That's pretty common, and like I said, we've got a art project or a craft project worth of glue and goo. Again, It looks like a grizzly bear may have gotten a hold of it, but
it actually looks cleaner than your Jeep in certain areas.
guys, she's saying it looks cleaner than my Jeep in certain areas, and that is not a that's not a compliment on Cheap Jeep, because we do go off-roading with that thing, so it's a little dirty and a little dusty from the last trip that it hasn't got cleaned on. So she says it's cleaner here, but like I said, Laredo, little broken down bolster, which again, with mileage, that's gonna happen, but it's really not bad. There's a little goofy phone mount that needs to get taken off, a GPS mount that needs to get taken off, but honestly, it's not in bad shape. Everything's there, nothing's really broken. It's got a steering wheel, which is always a good thing in a vehicle. We've got gauges, a radio. We do have a tape adapter installed. That was no additional charge. I got him on that one. I shrewdly negotiated there on that tape adapter, I'm sure. Let's have you jump in this thing and take your first seat in it.
It's a bit dirty.
She says it's dirty, but she said it was cleaner than mine, and she drives mine, so what's that tell you? So, feels pretty kind of normal like mine, obviously.
Yes.
That's about all you can say.
That's all I can
That's
say.
all she can say, guys. Well, guys, that's what you get your wife, significant other, girlfriend for Valentine's Day about 5 days late, is a broken Jeep Grand Cherokee, unknown mileage, unknown condition, unknown issues that you show your loved ones with a broken, dilapidated Jeep that's been rotting in someone's yard for over a year, and that's what I did. So, happy Valentine's Day. I know it's a little late, but I really wanted to get you something nice, and obviously I did that. So, happy late Valentine's Day.
It's worth the wait.
It's worth the wait, and one of these days it will maybe even drive.
Be amazing.
Yeah, it'll be amazing. All right. All right, guys, so I guess we'll keep kind of doing a quick look around on this thing. I need to get a battery for it. I think it's done for. We will... Like I said, here is our 4-liter. We've got some lovely taped on records all over this thing. And it's a leaky 4-liter. We've got a lot of oil down the side. We'll need to do a valve cover, hopefully maybe oil pan, and figure out what this mysterious coolant leak is. I have no idea until we dig into it, but it's a 4-liter Jeep. But real quickly on the outside, it's just in really, really good shape. There's no rust, it's not beat up. The bumper's got a little teeny dink here, but honestly, that's not the end of the world. It's just in really good shape. We've got just a little dent there, but again, it's a really clean Jeep. I was able to look at the title, and it is actually a one-owner vehicle. They have owned it since they bought it new in 2001. So that kind of helps vehicles typically when they aren't on their 10th owner and tired and broken down and just been neglected. So I need to get a battery in this thing, or at least test it and see if this battery is any good, and see if we can get it fired up, and we'll go from there. All right, so it is the next day for me. It got really late last night. I went out and grabbed a battery. I've got it thrown in there. So here is our fresh, cheap battery. I did check engine oil and transmission fluid just to make sure it has some in there before we fire this thing up and actually get it on the road and drive it. Now, one thing I did notice last night is the mileage. The guy had told me he thought it had around 250,000 miles on it, and when I got some battery power to it, it only has 177,000 miles. So kind of a weird thing to maybe forget. I guess the thing has been sitting for well over a year. Maybe you got it confused with something else. I don't know, but that is a pleasant surprise to see that we have way less mileage, almost 100,000 less miles than what we originally thought we had. But let's fire this thing up and see what happens. We've got oil pressure, we've got obviously a cold engine, we've got some battery charging, and everything seems to be pretty happy on this thing. Now I can hear that we do have a decent exhaust leak. Sounds like kind of back of the intake area. It does look like one of the hoses there for that back PCV valve is cracked. Somebody's got a sleeve on it. I kind of took a glance under there, so I'm assuming we just need to actually do a proper repair. But other than that, it really doesn't sound bad. It's maybe idling a little bit rougher than it should, but I have no idea when the last time spark plugs have been replaced on this thing. So we will go get this thing out on the road and see how it drives. I'm assuming the tires aren't going to be terribly happy if this thing truly has been sitting for well over a year, but we'll go out and drive it and see what happens. Now, honestly, it's a pretty nice place to be. We do have a little bit of a tear here in a seat, but other than it just being completely filthy, dirty, sticky on everything, it's all there, and it seems to be happy. This driver's door panel is just completely wrecked from them taping a window up and the armrest coming apart. So we're gonna have to make a junkyard run and find a door panel. Let's get this thing out on the road and see how it drives. Now, I do feel a lot more confident about this thing now that I know it only has 177,000 miles instead of the 250 that I assumed or was told it had. So that at least makes me feel better about, you know, it being less worn, I guess. But so far it drives like a 4-liter Jeep Grand Cherokee. Again, I don't know if you guys can hear, but I can hear the vacuum leak under the hood from those hoses that have been poorly broken and repaired. But yeah, I mean, it drives. The steering wheel's kind of off to the left, going straight down the road. So I'm sure we've got some worn steering components, some tie rod ends, but that's to be expected with any old vehicle, and definitely an old Jeep. That's not uncommon, I guess. But now that we've got up over 50 miles an hour, I don't know if you guys will be able to tell, probably not, but I do have a pretty decent steering wheel shake. We could just have a tire balance issue, but I'm assuming these tires are going to be relatively flat spotted from obviously sitting for forever. And they were sitting all flat. I did have to air the tires up too. They all had like 10 PSI in them. So not only has it been sitting, it's been sitting on flat tires. So that's just really hard on your tires. But guys, other than that, it seems to be shifting through the gears normally. The engine sounds healthy. I don't have any check engine lights, but since the battery was just replaced, if we did have any codes, they would have all been cleared. So it's gonna probably take some driving for any codes to actually pop up if there is any issues. But guys, what's the plan for this thing? I don't really know. I'd like to just, you know, get everything taken care of, have the wife drive it for a little while until her new car gets in. But if you guys know me, and if I know myself, I'm going to be worried. I'm not gonna want to not lift it and put some tires on it and make it look cooler than every other normal, boring Jeep Grand Cherokee out there on the road. But we need to get everything addressed. We need to get everything sorted before we go modifying this thing, or at least that's what I'm gonna tell myself. So guys, next video with this thing, we need to get it in the shop, get it up on the lift, get all the fluids changed, and kind of address what we need to do. So guys, as always, thanks for watching, and we'll catch you guys next time.